All right, I think we're live, Jacob.
Hello.
Live and in person. Just waiting for a few people to show up. If you're watching this in the repeat, how's it going?
I'm signing into YouTube.
Sit here in our this Saturday afternoon. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday so far. We've been watching the Ducks game. You guys football fans?
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. Both kinds of football. So
And the Premier League. We've been watching that too. Liverpool lost. I'm a little disappointed in that.
But Arsenal continuing off of last season's momentum. Of course, we're not here to talk sports. We're going to talk about Disney, but we're going to wait for a few people to show up. If you're here in the chat, let us know where you're signing in from, where you're watching from.
Yeah.
There goes Jacob, just leaving the sound on. Jacob's going to help monitor the chat here.
Yes.
What's going on, everybody?
On my phone. Hello. All right.
How's it looking there, Jacob?
So far, so good. I see one person. I can't tell who it is. I think we have to look on that.
Possibly. Yeah, if you're
It could be
here
me.
in the chat, say hello. Hello. What's going on, everybody?
I'm just going to take a sip of this.
We've been getting these drinks from Costco. Yerba?
Yerbay.
I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyways, these things are delicious.
Everyone jumps in as soon as we start talking about, what is this? It's a seltzer water?
I don't know. It's a energy drink. of some sort?
Plant-based. We're drinking plant.
Just like tea.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, hello, everybody that's jumping into the chat. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching today.
How's your day going?
Indeed.
Is it awesome?
We're going to be talking about some Disney news coming up here shortly, but we're going to wait for a few more people to hop in here. Introduce yourselves in the chat. What's going on, you guys?
Hello, everybody. There's three.
Also, let us know if these microphones are working. We're trying this out for the first time here.
Yeah.
Hoping it's working.
I do see the lines moving down there, down at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Maybe you can double check your volume there. Just make sure that
Okay.
you're hearing our voices.
You're going to hear double in just a second, everybody. Hello?
All right.
Oh,
It's working.
it's working.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live stream, this month's live stream. We're going to be chatting Disney news. We're going to be taking your questions and just hanging out today. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching from today. Leave us a like.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget to like it.
All the YouTube keywords there that help the algorithm and all that good junk.
Subscribe if you haven't, but if you're here, you probably are subscribed, but
Indeed. Possibly, anyways.
maybe not. Maybe you just got done watching our videos, and then you saw that we came live, and now you jumped in. So welcome.
Welcome indeed. Anybody got any Disney trips coming up soon?
Yes.
I know Jacob does. Jacob has planned this trip out for months, going in December for a Christmas trip.
Yep.
And we've been trying to figure out for months if we're actually going with him or not. I think the biggest thing now is figuring out if Stacy, my wife, can actually get the time off.
Mm-hmm.
Because my wife, Jacob's wife, and Jacob's father-in-law all have the same job at the same place. So in order for us all to
That's
get
fun.
that time off, got to work some special magic,
Mm-hmm.
some special Disney magic to get the PTO.
It's usually just a smile and please.
We'll see what's going on there. Hopefully. I haven't been to Disneyland during Christmas time.
So cool.
Yeah.
You have to go.
We've been to Disney World during Christmas time, but this was in 2020 when there was not as much to do.
The second Great Depression.
The mental depression. It was awful.
It was bad, but that made it fun. Disney World, I feel like, made that year tolerable.
Yeah.
What stunk is that we still had to wear masks outside,
Mhm.
which without getting into that, like the whole thing, it was kind of miserable, but just being in Disney World made it worth it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes.
My biggest complaint was you were not allowed to walk and eat at the same time.
That was weird.
Yeah, especially at Epcot.
Yeah.
If you've been to Epcot, you know that it's all about eating
Yeah.
and
drinking.
sightseeing.
Exactly.
All that good
I
stuff.
don't know what they think people do unless they're like really like crazy eaters and they're just spitting up everywhere and getting
Yeah.
sickness on everybody. But
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Anyhow,
Hello, everybody.
welcome in. If you're just joining us, we are hanging out today, going to be talking about some Disney news coming up shortly. Want to know how your day's going for you so far? Also, From our last live stream, we were giving away these medallions. This Princess Leia, I don't know if you guys can see it, an R2-D2 medallion was unclaimed.
Would you like to claim it?
Maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head who all won medallions. We were giving away 4 of them. 3 of them got mailed out a little bit late. We had an issue with the process of getting that sent out, but there's still one of these medallions left. Would like to give it to the person that won, but if that's not claimed, then we may end up just giving it away in a future video to someone else.
Ooh.
You know, claim it if it's yours.
Mm-hmm. So much Disney news coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that came out of D23 and the Disneyland Forward, Anaheim Forward. What's that called?
I just know it's like the great expansion plans.
A lot of good stuff coming out of that. Not very specific details. Everything's really kind of generic in the way they describe it, but it's very promising.
Yes. Oh, and the Tokyo Disney Sea expansion / Hong Kong. They talked about the different things to be added, which make me want to go to Tokyo Disney so bad. Well, first, I mean Tokyo Disney Sea, but I want to go to Tokyo Disney so bad.
Yeah, though that's my number one travel destination I'd like to visit. I've heard from people that have been to Disney Sea that that's the best Disney park in the world.
Awesome.
And I am very unfamiliar with it on purpose. I'm pretty familiar with some of the other parks because I've been watching a lot of videos about them, like in Paris, the parks I haven't been to. But for whatever reason, just because I've had people tell me it's such a great experience, I haven't watched anything about Tokyo Disney Sea, just so I can have a brand new experience when I go there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, the thing is, I don't speak Japanese, but it's nice because that culture, especially at least the younger generation, younger than maybe even 50, I guess, almost everybody speaks English, so It's not going to be a problem. Versus a country I go to and I don't know how to say I have to go to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, a lot of them do speak English there at the park.
That's exciting.
Most Japanese people speak English anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like you wouldn't be too lost.
Right. Especially even the rides that are in Japanese, you definitely know what's going on. Especially because it's Disney, and I would hope you know what was going on. But yeah, but Tokyo Disney Sea looks huge. I thought it was just one little, I don't know, stretch of land or a land, but it's like a whole park. But are they next to each other? Or is this different? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're next to each other.
Oh, that's cool.
At least from what I understand, it's kind of like the Disneyland California Adventure setup.
That's awesome.
Anyhow, well, still waiting for people to show up here. Looks like Jacob's the only one in the chat right now.
Yeah, I'm here.
We can hang out for a little bit longer. I guess if nobody shows up, then we can just postpone this and try it again later.
Yeah. Either way, it's something up. We're talking. We're doing stuff.
Yeah, indeed. Lots of stuff to talk about. So if you guys do join in.
Yeah, as for the Christmas trip, it's one thing I really appreciate too is how well they decorate the park during these holidays.
Yeah.
I know you went there during the Halloween season, so you definitely know that in person. But hello, everybody that's joined. Hello.
Oh, yeah, I've got a couple more people jumping in here.
A little slow on the entry for everybody, but that's okay.
Yeah, introduce yourselves in the chat if you're jumping in here.
How are we doing today, everybody? This Saturday, the 30th. I had to look at my watch for that.
It is the last day of September, isn't it? Halloween season has officially started, at least in Disney. For me, Halloween doesn't start till October 1st.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of stingy about that. I like to keep my holidays in the month that they're in. I don't start Christmas until the day after Thanksgiving. I don't know about you guys.
I think I think my wife does the day after Christmas, or the day after October, or the day after Halloween is usually Christmas setup. Yeah. But yes.
I don't know. I like my Thanksgiving holidays separate from Christmas.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Black Friday rush as the introduction to the Christmas season.
Oh, yes, exactly. It's when you start seeing a bunch of sales too, and just kind of get into that, I hate to say buying spirit, but.
Unless you go to Costco.
Yeah, it started.
We've already bought Christmas stuff at Costco.
I think they're thinking ahead too. They probably sold out early or something last year. Let's get it out early.
Yeah, every year a little bit sooner. But the thing is people buy this stuff. So
yep.
What are you gonna do? Hello in the chat. Oh, Cecilia, welcome back to the chat. Good to see you today. I go straight from Halloween to Christmas. I think a lot of people do that. Not my favorite thing to do, but it happens.
Yeah. Maybe maybe we do a slow transition where it's instead of just bringing out the tree and everything, it'll be all right, let's start bringing out decorations, and then. As we get a little closer, maybe Thanksgiving is the tree goes up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was studying some German recently. Long story behind that. But to go along with that, I was watching some videos about some German culture. And in Germany, they put up the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Wow.
So I know I can't imagine
That's
that here.
intense.
I guess everybody usually it's December 1st. People put the tree or day after Thanksgiving if you can make the tree live that long. But we do a real tree, so. I don't know,
Yeah,
you guys
I grew up real tree because especially just where we live, there's Douglas firs everywhere. But but we got a pretty cool one from Costco though, so that's fake, but it's awesome. But you can't get that real smell, that real authentic smell from a fake tree, but you can get a really cool look from a fake tree, especially like frosted. Like it's like a frosted look. It doesn't have any like fake snow, but CC, try to wait till after Thanksgiving to decorate. Yeah, it's harder with kids. Sure is.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. You have dogs, though.
I do.
They're also stressful.
Dogs for the first time this Christmas. They're going to be interested in the tree, I'm sure. Cecilia, wish I could get a real tree. Too messy for me, but I miss the smell. Yeah.
That's true. It is messy, especially as it dies.
My biggest complaint about real trees is you get real spiders.
That's true. Or real sticky. After you're like trying to like put that in the little spokes and But yeah, it's for the first like week or two, it's awesome. You wake up to that Christmas smell, that Christmas pine.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into some of the news here.
Yes, let's talk. Disney talk.
My computer doesn't freeze. Uh-oh.
Or your mouse.
My mouse is not cooperating with me. Here, let me reset this. And we'll get to some of the Disney news here, and you guys can chime in on your thoughts on some of these topics. There we go. Okay, let's pop this out this way. Give me just a moment to get that situated. A lot of Disney news coming out here. We're not going to touch on everything, but we're going to talk about some of the stuff that kind of pertains to Disneyland, and then maybe a couple of the Disney World topics we're interested in.
Yes.
Of course, we're primarily Disneyland, but we love all things Disney. New World Jump vehicle coming to Avengers Campus.
I'm excited.
So this is something I guess they've talked about for a while. Is at least from the announcement of Avengers Campus, there was supposed to be an e-ticket themed attraction there. I mean, I guess Spider-Man's kind of an e-ticket.
Spider-Man's cool,
but,
yeah.
A bigger thrill ride that was promised that never came along. And, the picture that was released, and I can't pop anything up on the screen right now, but the picture that they talked about at D23 and they showed up there kind of reminds me of, looks like it's going to be maybe a Star Tours type attraction.
Yeah.
Or at least along the lines of the new Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot. So something to do with projections. I'm thinking it's going to be a big part of the ride at least.
Yeah.
Because thinking about the spacing in Disneyland, I don't know how you put a large attraction in that area.
I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, is it going to be like Star Tours? Like where it's like a theater, like theater moves and stuff? But yeah, I don't know. But you can definitely tell that based on the picture, it seems like there's going to be like a King Thanos. They're bringing a bunch of multiverses together, which I'm excited for. Yeah,
because the description says that there's going to be multiverse jumping, so it's going to be interesting. Because I'm curious if they do multiverse jumping, that can give the option that like Star Tours has, where they can change out some of the scenes.
That's true,
especially as new movies come out. I think that's probably likely, at least because that guarantees they'll be able to update the ride as future movies come out.
Yeah, and the specific picture too is kind of cool because it showed like a cartoon looking Spider-Man and then like one of the movie Spider-Man. So I think they're like, it's not even just like MCU. I think they're going to bring in cartoon. I think it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, that's exciting. Especially it's something new to bring to Avengers Campus that will bring more people to Avengers Campus. Like I feel like there is a lot of people there, but just the few attractions, gift shops. I mean, it's almost like a walkthrough area to me versus like I'd like to stay here like half the day.
Right. I mean, I feel like, well, Galaxy's Edge is maybe not the best example.
I was going to say, I wish there was more rides there too. But yes.
I feel like I can hang out in Galaxy's Edge more than I can at Avengers Campus.
Yeah. Like the whole immersiveness to it.
Yeah. Speaking of Galaxy's Edge, Ahsoka, well, I guess Star Wars at least, Ahsoka is going to be part of the Star Tours attraction coming up in spring. There's some pretty cool set pieces in that show. I don't know if you guys are watching the Ahsoka series. I've really been liking it. What do you guys think about it?
I love it.
We watched Rebels.
Yes.
And so this is kind of like Rebels Season 5, which I'm a big fan of, but I don't know how it plays to people that haven't watched Rebels.
I know. Everybody's like, who's Ezra? Who's this person?
Right.
Who's Zeb?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, Zeb's not in the show at all.
Mandalorian. If they didn't know who that was.
Yeah. But anyways, some of the set pieces I think going to be really cool, especially the last episode with the minefield. Yeah. I think that might be a good set piece for Star Tours.
Oh, that
I
would
wouldn't be
cool.
surprised if we see that.
That'd be cool.
The attraction.
Go inside of the space whales,
Right.
the Purgles. That'd be so cool.
That would be an interesting take on the ride as well.
Yeah, I would love that.
Where's our Disneyland stuff? Let's talk about the Disneyland Forward.
Oh yeah.
There is a lot of information that came out about this, and I've been looking at some of the documents. There's like 1,000 pages. It's ridiculous. But I've been looking at some of the breakdowns that some people have to kind of talk about what they think their interpretations of this is going to be. It's really interesting because originally they talked about how this is an expansion of Disneyland and California Adventure. When you take a look at the map, I'd encourage you guys to do so if you haven't already. But when you look at the map, basically it's parking lots right now. They're going to be converting to more theme park area. What are they going to be doing with that? It looks like kind of, and there's illustrations, but I don't know how accurate those are going to be into the final product. But
I feel like a lot of it's speculation based on like descriptions, but I'm not saying that's not accurate, but like there's a lot of property that Disneyland owns that I had no idea they owned. Like there's like specifically like over by the Anaheim Hotel, there's like an empty parking. Well, it's like a like they didn't take care of it parking lot that it looks like they plan on ripping up to use for something. But based on where the distance is, like some speculation people were drawing, just like using their computer, it said like most likely parking lot, like expanding parking lot space so they can dig into not the new parking lot stuff they've done, but dig into more of the regular parking off to the side that they have. But then they do have residential areas right there. What's really interesting is something I saw today is they on the map will draw, especially with downtown Disney, things that would be making noise because they have to kind of discuss with the city like why they think it's a good idea. Like it had pictures of like drawn pictures of possible like sound barriers. And people figured that out because they saw old plans for some of like Star Tours Galaxy's Edge. Because people make noise, like rides make noise, music, stuff like that. So they talked about the barriers that would go around this whole area, but it said 13 attractions. That doesn't mean they're all rides, but they said thrill ride, and it was like 13 attractions. And it was like downtown Disney in between hotels, in between like Pixar Pier and the Pixar Place Hotel. It's crazy. Like the stuff they were. Obviously right now it's all in discussion with the city. The city has to say, yeah, that's fine, and they have to make their point of like this won't be a problem for those people that literally live across the street.
Well, if you remember from a couple years ago, Disney tried to get the approvals from the city to do this before, and they were turned down. But they were also asking for tax money to help with the project. Of course, I didn't think that'd go over very well, but this time they're not asking for tax money, and they're actually offering to do a lot of community outreach with this and offering a lot more potential jobs. So I'm thinking that they're a little bit more likely this time. Of course, nothing's decided until the city makes a decision on it. But I do think that if you look at the maps, you've got an area on top and on bottom of the area they're planning to do construction with. And in the middle, you've got downtown Disney and the two hotels, Disneyland Hotel and the Pixar Place Hotel. That kind of divides it. So it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. Some people are speculating that it's going to be one new theme park, which would be really interesting. Kind of small for a new park.
Yeah.
But with it being split in the middle, it makes a little bit more sense to be expansions of the existing parks.
Yep.
Although this does have to go across the street. So that's where people are also talking about some of the new projected
ways of transportation.
So, even there's some illustrations that are used for reference of the Skyliner and the People Mover.
That would be so cool.
Not to say that those specifically are going to be used, but something along those lines to bring people from one side of the park to the other going across the street.
Right.
And that could be going over the road.
Yeah.
That could be also going underground.
Right.
So a couple different ways that could go.
Right. And I feel like because the last thing people want to do is because that's if they were just regular parking lots, which I don't think that's going to happen, is there's going to be so much more flooding and crowds, like just people like back-to-back traffic, people trying to get into this parking lot that's, like it's a few blocks away from Disneyland, but, it's people also trying to get to hotels, trying to get to restaurants. So they're going to have to pitch something to the city that's like, we promise to like make sure this is efficient so that way people can still get to where because people just go through, that Disneyland Boulevard or I forget that main street there because it goes right off the highway. People are trying to get to work. They're trying to get to somewhere to eat. So they have to somehow, pitch to the city that they're not just going to make more work for the city. But yeah, no, definitely. After going on the Skyliner in Disney World, that was not only a fun experience, but it was pretty quick. I didn't know how fast that would be. You know, being on a ski lift in the past, I was like, it's going to take long to get there. So
yeah, well, I don't think that it's going to be obviously a short ride going across the road because when you're in Disney World, the distance between the hotels and the
is quite.
It's pretty pretty drastic when you're used to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what do you guys think about these new? I guess it's not really breaking news, but the potential of some of the new things coming to Disneyland. What could the new areas be in the expansions? I know Bob Iger's talked about bringing, or maybe it was Josh Tomorrow, talked about bringing Pandora to Disneyland. Is this a land that they could be expanding with?
Right. Or is it like a one-time thing? Like it's like an event type thing? Because like some people were saying, like, could it be like a VR type experience? You know how there was an experience downtown where you could do the Star Wars, which was awesome. You know, they're like, well, is it going to be a walkthrough, kind of like the so was it not Way of Water? It's Moana.
Oh yeah,
the new walkthrough attraction in Epcot. Is it gonna be something like that? Is it actually gonna be a thrill ride? You know, there's lots of stuff that's up in the air with that. But yeah, Pandora would be great to bring to Disneyland.
Yeah, my personal preference, and I don't know that this is realistic. I would love to see the original idea of Westcott actually come to Disneyland.
That'd be sweet. Makes sense. We're in West.
I was having because Westcott was talked about originally before California Adventure came around. That was the rumored expansion of what that park would be, and I think that was even floated by Michael Eisner.
Yeah.
Before they built California Adventure, which I like California Adventure now, but I love Epcot.
Yeah. The different cultures,
almost more than
food.
Disneyland itself. That's
yes.
If they had a Westcott in California, I don't think I'd have a need to go to Florida anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I doubt that's going to happen, but that would be my wish to see come true.
I live in Cali.
Cecilia, I don't live in Cali, but I can't say from residential view. But I like the idea, and I hope it goes through. More Disney, heck yeah, of course.
Same.
Yeah. I feel like people always talk about the size difference between Disneyland and Disney World.
Sure.
And the reason that Disneyland is such a local destination is because I feel like there's less to do there versus Disney World. So people want to make the most out of their trip if they're really taking a long vacation.
Yeah.
Just my personal guess. But if there's more stuff in California, maybe you get some more people from out of town. But this could only help to serve with crowd dispersion too.
Right. That's true.
I mean, of course, when the new lands open up, it would be a lot of new people coming in to see the attractions. But you've got a lot more acreage there that you're going to be helping disperse the crowds in. So maybe it would help the parks feel a little bit less crowded.
Sure.
Could just be wishful thinking, but
yeah. And usually they do their best, especially the Imagineers who do like awesome work. They do think about that. They're like, okay, if we create, same with like Galaxy's Edge. I was kind of nervous to go there because there are definitely crowds, but they're moving. Like, it depends because we went to that Star Wars event. That was crazy. But other than that, just like they always try to think, how can we get people to move in and move out of those areas? So I feel like that's always talked about. But no, the expansion on what they could possibly do within Disneyland would be cool. I know they'd just be kind of adding onto the property they already own, but it's actually like repurposing and hopefully could make them, not that they don't have money, but they're definitely losing money. So definitely keep that revenue going.
Are they losing money?
I don't know.
I think they're making a lot of money from the parks.
From the parks, absolutely. I think Disney Plus is what's
Disney Plus. Well, everybody that's got a streaming service is losing money. That's a topic in and of itself. I mean, we'll talk about that later, but we're not really movie centric right now. We're going to be talking parks. But anyhow, anybody else have any thoughts on that? I really am interested to see how this turns out. Although I guess the projected finish date, if this goes through, is not till 2040.
Dang.
Yeah. It's going to be a while. If they go through with this, it's going to be quite a while until we see the end of this.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that's the head of Imagineering says that they're about to have more projects in place than at any point in Disney history.
Wow.
Which is impressive, but you got to think how many parks are there around the world.
Yeah.
Even just having a few of those going at the same time can really add to the number of projects that are happening at once. Speaking of projects going on around the world, let's take a look at some of the Disney World stuff. I did jot down a couple notes here.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely expansion planned for that too.
I think something that just jumps off, not even looking at my notes, is that they're going to update Test Track.
Yes.
Which I think is long overdue.
Yeah.
I imagine Test Track was awesome when it first came about, but having been to Disneyland, California Adventure first, and being on Cars, and then going to do Test Track in Florida, it was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
That section at the end where they shoot you off at like 60 miles an hour is pretty fun, but
Yeah.
the rest of it's a little bit lackluster when you're used to the California Adventure version.
Yeah. Well, it's all promoting what's the Chevy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, because I know Chevrolet obviously helped, put that ride in, so they definitely have to sponsor it. But yeah, after going to the themed cars, which I mean, like, I don't know, that was so immersive, especially before Galaxy's Edge was ever a thing. But
well, it's still partnered up with Chevrolet.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's going to look like. It's not like they're going to turn that into a Cars ride, I don't think. But yeah, it's interesting to think about what they could possibly do to retheme that. But
yeah, that'll be one to look out for sure. It's a great ride vehicle. It's a great technology to use, and so I don't think it'd be too difficult to make it a little bit more interactive and fun, I guess.
Sure.
What else is coming here? Future expansion plans for Magic Kingdom in Florida.
It's huge.
Largest ever for the park, according to Bruce.
That's who it is.
That's the head of Imagineering. They're looking at a Big Thunder Mountain land. It's kind of like going to be the
Beyond
scale
Big
of
Thunder Mountain.
Beyond
That's
Big
crazy.
Thunder Mountain. So kind of the scale of Galaxy's Edge is what they said, which is interesting because if you take the whole, I guess, explorers aspect of like a Disney themed area, I guess that's kind of what they're going for.
Yeah.
Maybe a Western area.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no details about it. It's all speculation.
Sure.
Sounds fun. I love Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
One of my favorite rides. And so if they can have more themed in that type of area.
Thunder Mountains.
Thunder Mountains.
From one mountain to the other.
Yeah. Should be fun, though.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Encanto is
possibly
the retheme of Dino Land. Have you guys been to
Disney
Animal
World?
Kingdom?
Yes.
Dino Land was the most disappointing thing I think I saw there.
I had no nostalgia for it. That's the thing. Like, I've talked to people that have gone to Disney World when they were younger, and they were like, "Oh, Dino Land's so special," but it felt like I was going to the fair. Like, and I didn't like that.
Yeah,
And there was nobody there.
I get that was kind of the idea of the theme. It was like a circus.
Yes,
but
I don't like clowns. That's all I thought about. Some clown was going to walk towards me in this like abandoned park.
Yeah. Anyways, I didn't care for it too much either. The dinosaurs ride was pretty lackluster compared to the
Indiana
version.
Jones?
Yeah, but it's the same ride vehicle. So they've also talked about how Indiana Jones is a possible idea for retheme.
That would fit so well.
Which it wouldn't be too difficult to have kind of like a jungle-themed land, and each area you walk to could be different. Like one area is Indiana Jones, and you walk over a little bit further, and it's Encanto, and it wouldn't be too dissimilar as far as the environment's concerned. But being able to retheme dinosaur to Indiana Jones, I think would be incredible.
It'd be so cool.
I know some people really love dinosaur. Again, this is because I've been in Disneyland my entire life and didn't go to Disney World until the last couple of years. So I've got no nostalgia for the ride itself, but I think that'd be a pretty cool retheme.
Yeah.
It's the same ride vehicle. I guess excuse me.
They would save, I feel like they'd save money. Like they're just like, all we have to really do is just rip it apart, keep the ride the same, and make it Indiana Jones, make it better.
Yeah, it's the same track, it's the same ride vehicles. It's a no-brainer to me, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. What else? I guess that's kind of all the news that we've really gone through here.
Yeah.
So
that expansion. Oh yeah, the Zootopia Toy Story Land. I believe they talked about that is it Shanghai?
Yeah, so
yes.
I think I put those notes down there because those are some of the ideas that people floated for the expansions in Disneyland. Maybe they're bringing in a Toy Story Land or a Zootopia or like a mix of a few of these different things. So,
I think Peter Pan, which I was like, that'd be so cool. But I think
in
Shanghai,
in Paris, I think there's an area that's got Skull Rock for Peter Pan that they announced is coming, or maybe it was Tokyo. Anyways,
it was somewhere not here.
One of the parks. It was a combination of Peter Pan and there was a couple other things, but they took 3 IPs and mixed them together into one land, and I think that's a pretty good idea as far as the things that they can mix together. Because what we just for the rethemed land of Dino Land, it's the same idea. If you can take a few IPs and squish them together, but have them separated in the same land, I think that's a really efficient way of putting different things for the parks.
Oh, Tokyo Disney Sea. The proposal.
Oh, it's a Disney Sea.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. The ones you mentioned. Frozen, Peter Pan, Tangled, like all different sections, and a brand new resort. Like you could stay in. Apparently would be very, 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 very expensive to stay at. But the concept art looks amazing. But
that'd be pretty nice.
It'd be so cool. You're like staying in the land, essentially. Walk outside, and there's Peter Pan. But they had like Skull Rock, the whole pirate ship thing you could walk onto.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, I love those big set pieces. That's something that Disneyland doesn't have as much of as Disney World does. I think because of the spacing issue, but if they have that in mind before they build the new areas in Disneyland, I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to take a look at.
Oh, speaking of just like ripping apart, what is everybody's take? Ryan and I have discussed this before. So Tomorrowland, everybody has said, seems to be the next big, likely renovation when it comes to renovations. Maybe, we don't know.
It's been talked about for years.
But what would be really cool to like? How would you renovate it? Like, I would personally retheme or rethink the whole. What is that? Imagine, or what was that called?
Innovation
Center. Because there's like nothing in it. For a while, it was just like Star Wars stuff that now is just like outdated. All the new Star Wars things they have. I don't know. Even if you tore that apart, I mean, that's a lot of space to put something awesome.
Yeah, my idea.
It's cool.
It's made a bunch of people upset, but
I think it's cool.
Get rid of the Innovation Center and get rid of Autopia. I am not a fan of Autopia. I know some people have a lot of nostalgia for it, but it's not my favorite.
Just rethink the. I just wish they would just rethink the like. It's the future of cars. At least, I don't know. Make them electric.
I think it's outdated and it stinks. Yeah,
literally.
When Disneyland was first built, a lot of people didn't have their own cars, and especially with kids, they loved it, getting the feeling of driving.
Yeah.
But with video games and whatnot, it's not such a unique thing anymore like it used to
VR.
be. I think they could do something a lot better with that space.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyways, take those two things out and then make room for Tron. Oh, I don't know if that would fit in there, but
that'd be so cool.
That's my imagination.
Well, and also, I mean, like I think what people I've seen people discuss online on YouTube too that like it's based on the stuff they've added to Tomorrowland. You have like the Buzz Lightyear. You have the Space Mountain that was there. I guess they already did not a retheme, but they just kind of redecorated in the past. I don't know if that was like the 90s or early 2000s, but they said it kind of doesn't fit. So you look to one side and you almost see like a different theme of what tomorrow looks like. Right. Like if they can get like just a one themed but that's the thing is that like Disney ran into is like, what does tomorrow look like?
I mean, Tomorrowland does feel very disjointed. It's worse than Disney World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
for sure,
it's very outdated in Disneyland. The last time they updated it's been a couple decades.
Yeah.
But that's hard to do because you're trying to think of what tomorrow looks like.
Yeah.
And then the future never looks like what you think it does, and so it's constantly outdated. So it's a rough concept, but
yeah. Well, I like what Paris did though. Like Paris, they were like, how about instead of doing tomorrow, it's about like just like the thinkers or like the people that came up with good ideas. So they had what's the name? Oh my goodness.
Like kind of steampunk looking?
Yeah, because it's just like
Space Mountains
coming up with ideas exactly based on the oh my gosh, the book. Anyways, whatever. It's different and I like it.
Personally, I think it'd be cool if they rethemed the entire thing to look like what the 50s and 60s version of the future looked like. I like that retro future looking kind of aesthetic, and I think that'd be a great way to renovate the land. And then it wouldn't look outdated because it's got a very unique aesthetic that could stick for a long time, and you wouldn't have to constantly go through and retheme things.
Yes. Jules Verne. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
As a whole, like shoot the person to the moon, the cannon. Yeah.
Right.
It's awesome.
And that fits in with the retro futuristic look as well. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Be super cool.
I don't know. What do you guys think? If you were to renovate Tomorrowland, what would be your number one thing that you would want to change about that?
And what would you keep if you liked certain things?
Yeah. Space Mountain's got to stay.
Of course. Star Tours, everybody but me seems to like, because I like the concept of Star Tours. I don't like how sick it makes me. I've tried everything and it makes me so sick.
Did we try that with your
we didn't.
sickness patches?
Should have. It's just the motion part, But also, like, if they did take that out, and whether they have the space, they just have to figure out where to put it in Galaxy's Edge, because it's like, hey, Tomorrowland, and then there's Star Tours, but there's also Galaxy's Edge over here.
Right. David, ditch Autopia and add something Star Wars related.
Sure.
I like the idea, but I don't think they're going to add anything more Star Wars to Tomorrowland since they have Galaxy's Edge.
Or add more to Galaxy's Edge. I think that'd be cool, because like not space wise.
There's no room though.
I know. There's like the fake buildings. Put something in them.
They do need another attraction, or they need another restaurant or some sort of experience. I think that as much as Galaxy's Edge is really, I don't want to say groundbreaking. It's very immersive. Yeah. And it's very cool to hang out there. I love being there. I could spend all day, but I think there needs to be more.
Yeah.
I don't know that Tomorrowland is the best place for more Star Wars, but I'm not going to complain at all if there's more Star Wars.
Yes.
Honestly, I can't get enough Star Wars. So, anybody else? What are you guys thinking here? Get rid of Autopia. I think that's my number one thing. I don't know. A lot of people seem to really love Autopia, but I really don't care much for it at all. I haven't talked to many people in person. It just seems like a lot of people online are pretty noisy about wanting to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it goes into the nostalgia thing because
Sure.
That was one of the original Disneyland attractions, and so people, I get it. People want Disneyland to stay as true to the original as what it was without changing too many things. But I mean, I can see the argument both ways. You got to keep the nostalgia, but you got to keep moving forward too.
That was Disney's thing.
Yeah,
one foot in the past, 1 foot in the future.
Walt's vision was that Disneyland would never be finished.
Yep. Just make it better.
I don't know that his vision would be keep tearing all the old stuff out either. But,
sure.
Whatever.
Yeah. It all becomes test track. Everybody drives that fast. Everybody's going 65 miles an hour.
Yeah. No, Tomorrowland, I think, when I go to Disneyland, I always think that I want to spend time in Tomorrowland until I get there.
And you walk through it. And you're like, oh, I walked through.
There's nothing to do but get a churro on your way to Space Mountain.
Yep. Yeah. I know. Yeah, you see the huge Innovation Center, which at one point was like the future of homes, which I thought was so cool. But obviously now we've arrived at that future where people have these things. But the concept of like this, a thing on the wall that lets you change the music in the house, change the lighting, like they had a piano that was playing itself. They had just so much to look at, so much to think about when it comes to the future of like homes of tomorrow. But now it's just a bunch of empty space.
Yeah, no, I heard that last time somebody gave an update about it. They were using the upstairs area for like a staff training room. Which I guess you need one of those. But
yeah.
That's prime theme park space that you could be using for something else.
Oh, CC, keep Autopia and put Thrill Ride in the old Innovation Center. Yeah. I mean, I would love just that old Innovation Center to be something.
Yeah. It's a pretty good chunk of space. I don't know what kind of thrill ride you could put in there.
Something to go straight up.
Small roller coaster, I guess.
Or, I mean, they have so many like digital attractions. I mean, look, like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man, that whole concept of just like you're in a car. I mean, honestly, if they had no like screen going, you're really just in a car that's moving off to the side.
But that takes up a good chunk of space.
It does. That's true. Yeah. It is a track of some kind. Or what is that called? The wireless tracking, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Like Ratatouille.
Unless they were going to do something underground. But I don't know. I guess that could be a possibility too, but you're kind of limited in your space in Tomorrowland. I think that was the big problem with reimagining things is the place that they put Space Mountain makes it a little bit disjointed when you're trying to tie the Innovation Center to the rest of Tomorrowland, right? Because if you can imagine where Space Mountain's at, you got the Innovation Center, and you got the other strip with Buzz Lightyear and Star Tours down here. Space Mountain is kind of right in the way. So if you needed to retheme the entire area, you'd have to close off Space Mountain because there'd be so much construction going on. It just makes things difficult. I guess that's the big hang up, at least from what I've heard anyways.
Right. Makes me think too, is like, would they just shut down most of Tomorrowland if they did something like that anyways? It'd kind of be like, just go this way and just people blocking you off anyways.
Yeah.
But
and then that could potentially interfere with Autopia. That could interfere with Finding Nemo submarines.
Right.
You got the entrance to the monorail up that way as well.
Yeah, all of that could hinder. I mean, that's just something to think about. Like, they'd have to do a piece at a time. I mean, they reimagined the whole entrance, and that took a while. Like, and that kind of threw things off. People had to walk around, a bunch of things happening, big walls just blocking off what the entrance is going to look like.
Yeah.
So,
well, they moved the spaceships, the rocket ships.
Oh, Astro Orbiters.
Because that was on top of the building in the center by the restaurant there.
Right, that was a while.
Yeah, that used to be up there, but then they moved the entire attraction off of there.
I think Disney World is still up.
Right.
You have to get an elevator.
And Disney World is smaller though.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That's why they had to move it to the ground level in Disneyland because they ended up making the structure so big.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess it's possible. I don't know. I'm not an Imagineer, so I don't know what the technology and the
That'd be cool. We would love to be Imagineers.
I don't think I'm qualified enough for that.
No. I don't think half the people that were made Imagineers back in the day was.
That's fair.
I love how Walt Disney would be like, you can draw houses? Cool. I need you to build one, though.
Right.
That's believing in someone.
Let the imagination go first and then figure out how to do it later.
The math comes later, the science, the safety.
Yeah, I feel like that's something lacking from Disney nowadays. But
sure. Safety or the...
Whatever.
Imagineering.
Right.
No seatbelts, ever.
No, man. I'm still trying to figure out how they get away with no seatbelts on Splash Mountain.
I know. I don't know. Well, we'll see with this new Tiana. I don't think they'll be doing any kind of like
I don't think the ride vehicles change at all.
No. Honestly, I was watching this video too. It seems like most of the work is gonna have to be on the inside. The outside is just kind of aesthetic, just just retheme, put bushes, make it a swamp more so than a briar patch. But inside's gonna have to do all the new animatronics, all the work.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm excited to see the new stuff though. Like I really hope there's some new animatronics, kind of what they use for like Frozen. And
I can guarantee all of them will be new, because the last set of animatronics were from an old ride to begin with.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I honestly, and I'm just calling this, I think they're going to keep that boat in there where they're singing on at the end, just because they have that in the Princess and the Frog movie. So they might just go, hey, let's keep this.
That fits thematically at least.
Yes.
When is that supposed to open? 2024?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Next year?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a projected time? Is it spring, summer, fall?
I don't think so. I don't think yet. Usually it's like when they're getting to like halfway point, they're like, now we can start promising things.
I'm sure it says on the app.
I hope so.
Let me pull it up here. Disneyland. Yeah, that's the nice thing.
Late 2024. Yeah, it's usually a way for them to get away with, instead of saying like, we promise September. That's usually them saying late, and then they can push it back. Like we meant early 2025.
2024.
Yep.
As an aside, do you guys ever just go onto the Disneyland app and see what the wait times are?
Yes.
One of my favorite pastimes when I've got nothing better to do.
Late 2024. I know they say that. I hope. I mean, I've never seen it where it's like, oh, we're done a little early. That's cool. It's more like we promised late 2024, and then they're looking at their schedule as they get closer. They're like, what we meant was early 2025.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. David says I think late 2024.
Yep. Supposed to be.
Cecilia supposed to be late 2024. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does Disneyland get the first version, or does Disney World? Because Disney World closed down first, I believe. So
right, and they already have the water tower up, the Tiana's.
Oh, they do.
Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's right. So we may have to go.
Let's go Disney.
Well, I guess we're not going until 2025 to Florida.
We'll see it.
We're in the early stages of planning a 2025 trip. My niece is graduating high school, so we're going to be taking her down there. We'll see what happens. Maybe Jacob's going.
Depends how school looks.
Trying to talk him into it.
Yes.
We've never made any videos in Florida, so that would be kind of fun to do so.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
It would require a little more time, but I think that would make it more fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a ton of stuff down there that I
haven't
done yet. Never been to the water parks.
Nope.
I don't think I've been. No, I take that back. I've been to a water park that I don't remember at all in junior high. We took a trip to somewhere, California, and I don't know.
Oh, like you've never been to like a water park?
I've been to a water park,
but you don't remember?
I don't remember it at all. Brian. We took a trip to Vallejo, to Six Flags down there in junior high, and I'm pretty sure we went to a water park.
There was like water there. It wasn't a water park. They're just like
it was just a pond.
Oh man, no, yeah. Both water parks look really cool, but I mean, based on how much money we'd have to put aside and time off we would need to go to both. I was trying to look at one or the other. It's like if we could only do one of those water parks, which one's better?
Yeah,
Blizzard Beach or the Typhoon Lagoon?
It's spendy. I know, because I want to go to Universal Studios again. And in Florida, they've got the 2 Universal parks down there, and
oh yeah, that's true.
Having one day for each of the Disney parks plus a day for both of the Universal parks, that's a long trip.
It's a long trip,
especially if you need to have rest days in between there,
and especially if you need work to work.
Especially if you need time off from work too. Yeah, those trips get really expensive really fast.
Mm-hmm. But it can make those trips worth it, especially when you're like, for instance, now it's like 2 years from now we're going to do this. It stinks that you have to wait for 2 years, but oh yes, I wish I lived closer. But living far away makes me love it. Exactly. As time goes on, it makes me 2 to 3 years. Like in the moment, that's depressing because you're like, oh shoot, it's 2 years away. Oh. And that's kind of like why we like talking about this stuff. It's just because to keep you pumped. Like you got a trip coming up in 2 to 3 years. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, it makes it worth it.
So, Kokai, man, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering your name. Can you let me know how to pronounce that? Kokai, maybe. I don't know. If it's my choice, I will never go to Florida again. What is wrong with Florida? I've had really good experiences being there, but I guess
was it like a weather thing, or just like the crowds, or maybe weather.
Yeah.
A lot of people do complain, like especially if they go to to the parks where it's like bad weather or they were hit with a storm. I went once and we were very fortunate to like never experience that. But then I see videos of people going and it looks like a hurricane just hit. So
everybody always tells me that it's not if, it's when you get caught in a storm down there. I've been there twice, and I've seen a light drizzle.
Yeah.
That's all the weather I've experienced down there. I've been pretty fortunate, but
yeah.
We have also gone in the winter both times. So
true. Yes.
Jovan.
Hey,
man.
Is that you in
How
Florida?
You doing, Jovan?
Too far. Yeah.
Miss you, Jovan.
Would rather like to go to Japan. Okay. All right. I'm with you on that one. I would definitely rather go to Japan for sure. But because I've also never been there. But yeah, no. Sup, my brothers? Jovan, how are you, my friend? How's Florida? Speaking of Florida.
Fantastic. All right. Coming from Hawaii. Okay.
Ooh.
I get that. Where are you at in Hawaii? Were you affected by the fires at all?
Oh yeah, like Maui. You on Maui or?
Yeah,
that was a tragedy.
I can get, if you're in Hawaii, Florida's further away than it is going to Japan, and I imagine that the flights wouldn't be too much different or dissimilar going from the different places.
Yeah, and then the route that it takes. Like I'm sure there's just rules, weather, lots of stuff that's involved, but like coming from the west side of the United States, it kind of says like we would have to, if we were going to go to Tokyo, like it makes you go up to Alaska, like cut across, come back down, and then hit Japan. Which I mean, I don't know, it was like 18 hours or something like that. It was a crazy long, 13 hours maybe. Like it was a long flight.
Yeah,
not at all on Oahu. Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, well, good. Glad that you're safe from all that craziness that's going on over there.
Yes.
Man, one of these days I'm gonna have to make it to Hawaii.
I love Hawaii. I say I love Hawaii. I love Maui because I've only been to Maui, but I'm sure there's something awesome on all the islands. And Oahu, I would like to see. I would like to go to Oahu, but it just, and tell me the truth. I heard Oahu is a lot more just like, it's just very city-like on an island.
Sometimes cheaper than a flight to Cali. Really?
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay.
I have to catch it at the right time then. But like I just see Oahu and I'm like, oh, it looks busy. Because I think Hawaii, I'm like, I want to relax and not be stressed out. So I don't think big cities, but I don't know. Yeah. Maybe there's parts of Oahu I'm not seeing.
Jacob says he wants to be relaxed and not stressed, yet he wants to go to Disney on his normal
This
vacations.
is why I fly to Disney now, because I don't like driving in LA traffic. I let somebody else do that for me. Uber. And they still terrify me. Those people.
The last time we drove to Disneyland, I tell you, we were in LA and we get to the section where there's like 7 lanes of traffic.
So stressful.
And as we're getting on, or we're passing by one of the on-ramps, there's a truck that's merging and a wheel just completely detaches and starts going straight into traffic. And we got past it as fast as we could. I don't know what happened behind us. I didn't see if it actually hit anybody.
Probably not, but
the wheel just completely detached from a truck.
Yeah. I feel like every other mile on like LA highway is like a crash. Someone's broken down.
That's outrageous. Yeah.
City for Hawaii, but easy to find. Oh, chill areas.
Nice.
Okay. I would figure. Yeah. That's cool. I'll have to check it out.
Oahu. Is that
the Pearl Harbor? I think it is. Yeah. Pearl Harbor exhibit. I really want to see that.
Yeah.
And then I think it's Disney's
Aulani?
Aulani, yeah.
Oh, is that on Oahu?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, this is.
Nice.
But I work with medical professionals, and the ones that I've talked to, like, and they make obviously a lot more money than me. But I was like, well, hey, have you ever been to Aulani? They're like, yeah, like for a providers conference or something like that. I was like, oh, would you go back? Like, if they helped sponsor it again, they said it was that expensive. They were like, I probably wouldn't spend money to do it.
I think it's Oahu. I heard about an area that's kind of like Epcot, but it's all the Polynesian nations.
Ooh,
so you go to the different areas.
Like food or like culture stuff?
They got food and they have culture stuff. They have interactive elements with shows and whatnot. But there's
I would love that.
Samoa and well, I'm failing on all the different Polynesian nations.
Sure, just different nations. That's
yeah,
awesome.
there's several of those areas where you just check around there and you get to kind of experience kind of like what Epcot is like.
But the Polynesian nations, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I would love that. Pearl is great. Yeah, DVC members, that's so cool. DVC members.
So you've
someday
been to Aulani several times, I guess.
That's so cool.
That's great.
I've seen videos. I would like to take my little ones. I think it'd be cool.
Oh, that's it. The Polynesian Culture Center. Yeah. So I watched a video about that on YouTube, and that's on my bucket list for when I go to one of the places in Hawaii.
That sounds amazing.
But that's definitely a place I want to check out. It looks awesome.
Let's just go to Oahu. All right, let's go to Oahu.
We need to go. Well, I don't know. But as much as we spend on these Disney trips, you think we just go somewhere else. But I don't know. There's something about the way that Disney makes you feel. It's
I just like that. I mean, just like, I know I've had people do that. She's like, you're a full-grown man. I was like, that's true. And I still go to Disney. But now it's bringing my family, of course. But I don't know. I think it's just nostalgia growing up with like the Disney. It's like, I think it's just the time that we grew up, like just during that time period watching the VHSs over and over again. Maybe for me, it was because like I never really got to go to Disneyland versus like growing up, there were always kids that were like, I'm going every year. So just what we do. And that's just something I never really did. But then also just kind of the Walt Disney of it all, which I just like the way his mind worked, where it was like, you get a lot of workers saying, no, I can't do that. And he's like, I believe you can. And he was very good about motivating people and just how he, people said he couldn't, build Disneyland with the money he had. And he took a lot of like risks, but he really believed in this thing. And and now you have Disney, the company, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of the way that Walt Disney ran the company.
Sure.
I definitely think that the company now is really strayed from that vision. But I do think they're a lot closer to that vision than most other companies are. So
sure.
They're still not what they used to be, but they're a lot better than a lot of other places.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Speaking of the Disney feeling, though, we're trying to plan a trip to Vegas. Not Jacob and I, but with my wife, we're planning a trip to Vegas. We got in on one of those things where you get a super discounted room for sitting on a timeshare presentation. So I think we're going to go.
Make sure you don't do it. Don't do it.
No, we're not going to do it. But
they're going to sit there with a pencil like this. They're going to be like, would you like to sign?
I have been looking up some pretty cool Disney stuff that's down in Vegas, and they've got a really cool immersive experience. It reminds me a lot of the Animation Academy, or not the Academy, but the animation building. When you walk in and there's the projections all over the walls with the different scenes from Disney and Pixar movies. It's an immersive experience like that, but it's just on a really big scale. It looks really cool. I can't remember what the thing is called, but it's in Vegas right now, and it's going to be going on for the next several months. It looks like something that would be a lot of fun to check out, especially if you're a fan of the animation. It looks pretty cool.
That sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool Disney stuff in Vegas too. There's a giant outlet center. I hear you can meet Mickey Mouse on the Strip, as long as you don't mind him smelling like cigarette smoke. So
there's some buff guy that just has some Mickey ears. It's like, I'm Mickey.
Right. Jesus, scary Mickey.
Chip and Dale's is something completely different.
Oh, we got another thing down here. And about Florida, to me, the magic isn't there. It's at Disneyland.
I get what you're talking about.
Yeah. On one hand, I mean, I can see both arguments there, because in Florida, I think it's a little bit more, I mean, to an extent, a little bit more of what Walt wanted, just because he was able to do things without the budget constraints like within Disneyland. But I do agree that the magic doesn't feel the same in Magic Kingdom versus in Disneyland.
Yeah. Like, I get what you're saying. Especially, like, there's certain things about Magic Kingdom.
Holy cow.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I don't want to try your name because I'm going to butcher it.
No, again, you got to let us know how to pronounce your name.
Yeah, because I don't want to butcher that.
Kai, I'm just going to call you Kai.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Super chat. Thank you for that.
But, like, I get what you're saying. Like, especially in Disney, like, in Magic Kingdom, especially when you turn that corner, I was like, wow, this place is huge. This is amazing. You see the castle, it's ginormous. Like,
that's
especially
impressive.
compared, it's impressive. So you see like Disney, but like you said, like the whole land constraint, it was more like, what's this? We have all this acreage, make it 2 times bigger than what we,
I got to say, I was let down by Fantasyland.
Fantasyland was sad. I thought I was at a strip mall. It was like, oh, here,
I know that was done intentionally. But I can't remember what the reasoning was behind it, but it doesn't feel right. No,
I know. I'm not the biggest fan of Small World. Just as I get older, it's really annoying. But like, it's impressive. Like the Small World in Disneyland, like the building itself. Yeah. When they put all the lights on for Christmas.
I agree.
But yeah, the magic it's a lot different. I just like knowing that Disneyland's the original. Buy something Disney.
Kai's fine. Buy something Disney. I would definitely do that. Buy something Disney. Got to figure out what.
All of it for $10.
We'll put that to good use. I appreciate that. Thanks again. No, but going back to the Florida discussion, there's certain aspects of the Florida parks I really, really like. Yeah. But the overall experience, I think, is better in California. I would agree with that. And I don't know if that's my bias, having been to Disneyland so many times before I went to Florida, but it definitely feels very different.
Yeah.
Some very similar experiences. But, people ask me, what's the difference between Disneyland and Disney World? What would you recommend? I always recommend Disneyland, but I can't really fault somebody for wanting to check out the Florida parks either.
Yeah. No, yeah, me neither. Like Disney World, it's something that's just a different experience. Like I don't think you can compare them. Like when it comes to like, if you just had Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, I'd probably say Disneyland. Like I said, the castle's impressive in Disney World, but like Disneyland, I felt like there was more intention there because Like it's the original. Like Walt Disney was like, this is how I want it to look because this is the constraints I have. So we're going to make it as amazing as possible within this, box that I've got.
Yeah.
And he pushed the limits. He did what he could with the budget he had. And then he said, let's put my mortgage on it. And probably really stressed his wife out. But,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Though. Disneyland is amazing. I can't wait to bring my girls there too.
Kai says Fantasyland is one of my favorites.
Same. I love Fantasyland, especially, like I said, I'm excited to bring my girls. It's basically going to be their trip this time.
I love Fantasyland first thing in the morning. And I love Fantasyland at night, but going in the middle of the day is kind of a
Where's
nightmare.
the crowd? Excuse me.
I will take an extra long walk, go out of my way to get to the hub or somewhere else to go to the other side of the park to not run through Fantasyland in the middle of the day. It's awful.
Yeah, it's almost like taking routes to get around Fantasyland because of how packed that place can get.
Yeah.
Not sure I want to speak for myself.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, Fantasyland is awesome at certain times of the day.
Yeah, but like I was saying earlier too, if we could get some sort of version of Epcot in California, even something, and I mean, it's not going to be the same thing, of course, but something similar to it, I don't feel like I need to go to Florida anymore. That's the biggest reason why I want to go to Disney World. I just love Epcot so much.
Yeah, the whole place is special. Like, I feel like I'm not going to say they try in a sense, but they try to bring more food, especially during the festivals. Like, because they do the food and wine. Like they have the different places, or it's going to be there during Christmas time. The holiday.
Oh, the Festival of the Holidays.
Festival of Holidays, because they did it in Epcot. They also do that in DCA, which I'm excited to see also in DCA.
I always miss the festivals in DCA.
Yeah,
I need to check one.
I'm definitely going to get the $80 ticket thing, so I could just
Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
You got to check out the food.
Yes,
that's the best part about going to Disney.
Oh. I think Jim Gaffigan said that. It's like vacationing is just you going somewhere else and eating somewhere else. Like that's all it is. Like, well, maybe we'll eat something and then we'll get something to eat, and then we should snack, and then we probably should eat something.
Yeah,
I was like, that's just how it is when we go to Disney.
I don't know if it was Jim Gaffigan or somebody else that was doing a routine about going to Disney. It's just a bunch of adults that are lost and looking for snacks.
I know, he's like for dads though that aren't like us, but just don't want to be there. They're like, it's like waiting at the DMV on the surface of the sun.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, especially when it comes to weather, I don't know. Disneyland was terrible in the summer, and when I mean summer, I mean July. That was so hot.
That was awful.
I've never been in heat like that before.
It was okay. So some of you may have heard us talk about this before, but we went for the 4th of July in 2018. Was it 19?
I think it was 18.
18. We went for 4th of July week in 2018.
The experience was cool.
It was a cool experience, but it got progressively hotter as the week went on. And one of the days we were there, we had park hoppers. We started off in California Adventure, and it was already 95 degrees at 9 in the morning. Yeah, it was bad. So we were on Grizzly early in the morning.
Yep.
And we were on the climb up, and the ride broke down at the top of the peak there before they shoot you off into the river. And
I wanted to get off
there
and just walk into the river.
Oh, it was awful. Okay. And it was hot that day in the morning, but it got up to 113.
To the point where Disney's making announcements saying, we realize it's really hot, so if you want to go home, you should. Or start drinking lots of water, make sure you're in the shade. But some rides aren't working too because it's so hot.
Yeah. So we didn't spend long in DCA. We park hopped over to Disneyland.
Yeah.
We went to go watch Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
For the air conditioning.
Of course, I fell asleep because it was so hot. And then after that, we noticed we were doing a lot of pin trading that weekend. And so wearing the lanyards, we noticed we're starting to get black smudge marks all over our skin. And that's because the backs of the pins were melting to our skin.
Yep.
It was awful.
That was a terrible experience because of the weather.
Yeah, and we went to the Innovation Center back when it was the Star Wars launch bay.
Mm-hmm.
And they told us that because of the heat, that the electrical grid was getting messed up and there was no power to that area.
Yep. So no AC.
Yeah. Oh, man. Never again have I gone in the summertime.
Yeah. And also, we don't live there, so we can't go, well, let's go home. We'll try again tomorrow. We paid money to be here. So we're trying to have a good time and jump from shadow to shadow.
Yeah. And we still left early because it was that bad.
It was so bad. But, yeah. We don't recommend the hottest day of summer to be in Disneyland.
To be fair, it's not that hot most of the summer.
Sure.
They got hit with a heat wave during the time there, but never again. No.
Yeah. Definitely go when it's colder. I love going around November, December.
I like it better when it's sweater weather.
Sure. Yeah.
When it's a little bit chilly, I think that's a more enjoyable experience.
I mean, even going in we went in November and it was still like in the morning, it's like pants, maybe a Spirit jersey. But then in the middle of the day, when the sun came out, I was like, oh, all right, this is warm. Kept the pants on, but took off the Spirit jersey, and then the evening hits and it becomes cool again. I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah, but even if you go in the fall, because 2022, I guess it was last year that I went with my wife during October.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there, and it was still pretty warm during the day. I brought a couple of Spirit jerseys. Didn't need to wear them the entire time I was there, but I was looking for Captain America, Captain Falcon. What's his name?
Captain Falcon.
Sam Wilson. As Captain America. So I was looking for him because I have the Spirit jersey that's just like his costume. And I put the Spirit jersey on long enough for the costume or for a picture, and I was sweating.
Yeah.
Just for
it's
the
still
few minutes
California.
I had to wear it on. But
yes.
No, it was a good time.
Yep.
But anyhow, we're coming up on an hour here on our live stream. If you guys would like to shoot a few more questions off in there, we'd be happy to chat for just a few more minutes, but we're going to start wrapping things up. So if you got any more topics you want to jump in here with, if you got anything you want to add to what we've been talking about, definitely drop that in the comment section. We would be happy to discuss.
Bringing up my phone here.
Yeah. Kind of a slow day for the live chat, but we appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. I see there's 10 of you guys in the chat.
Yep. Everybody that popped in, popped out, popped in. We still appreciate you.
Yeah.
Also, like, if we get it. Like, even on weekends, people get busy. They already had plans. They saw that we were doing a live stream, wanted to pop on. So we do appreciate it.
Absolutely. You take time out of your busy day to come hang out with us while we just talk nonsense about Disney.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks for sitting there and watching me sip on this the whole time.
Also, kind of a random question here. We're trying out these microphones. We usually use these for filming our videos, but we haven't used them on the live stream before. Is it a noticeable difference over the microphone we were using before?
Is it awesome? Is it way better? They sound great. Amber! Thank you.
That's ideal.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, Amber's here.
What's up?
Good to see you, Amber.
Good to hear you, or read your text, Amber.
It's to see.
Did you hear Disneyland's going to allow more? Really?
Oh, I did hear that. I forgot. I was going to mention that, and I completely spaced
I didn't know that. Tell me.
So I completely agree. I don't want to see drunk people in Disneyland. And I think that this is the big sticking point that Walt would just absolutely go to his grave over. This is the number one thing that he absolutely would not allow in Disney. And I'm surprised that they're allowing this. I know that they've got that in all the other parks, but Disneyland was the last holdout. And I honestly thought this would never change. So this is a big surprise to me.
Like, and it's not to say that like Walt Disney didn't like a drink, like he, especially when his own private like quarters of the park where he had like.
But he was so big on making Disneyland for families that he wanted to just have no exceptions. There's no alcohol in the parks. So that's, I don't know. I think that's crazy. I can't believe that actually happened.
I think, and they're serving. Yes.
Carnation Cafe.
Restaurants is what I heard.
Yeah. But still, even having it in some of the restaurants, even if it's just a select few places, that's more than what they allowed before. And it was such a hard stance that they took for so many decades. I don't know. It's a weird change.
Right. And also, it's not even just like that someone's just going to get toasted or wasted like in the park. It's just like, I mean, a few, drinks will definitely influence something. Like there's definitely been a few this year, actually, which is crazy. People getting thrown out of Disneyland or DCA because they got into fights. Because, tensions get high. You're waiting in line. Someone calls up their uncle to come, like you got to keep calm. But just those things can really influence your decision making. I know this. I'm speaking to everybody that knows how to drive. So, but like even just waiting in line, you're already frustrated, and now you have some alcohol in you and a little more courage. So you might get up in someone's face, and then I don't know. I feel like it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I mean, on one hand, I can see they have it in every other park.
Sure,
it's fine for the most part there, but
yeah.
I don't know. Again, going back to the idea that it just feels different in Disneyland. Why would you ruin that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't work there. I don't get to have any decision making.
Well, even if you did, you wouldn't have any decisions.
That's true.
Decisions. Yep. That's for the people
That's
that get paid the big bucks. All right.
Not me.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up here. I'm getting hungry. I'm ready for dinner.
Food time.
Yeah. But just want to say we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We would like to do some more of these in the future. Let us know what kind of things you want us to discuss coming up soon. Actually, one quick thing. We're about 100 subscribers away from hitting 2,000. And I think we're going to do another giveaway here once we get to 2,000 subscribers. I think that if you guys want to share it around and just kind of help with that, I'd be really grateful for it. But
yes, share this page, not just this video, but also share our page around.
What should we give away? Gift cards, pins, other
a
prizes?
Trip? We can't afford that.
Maybe when we hit 100,000 subscribers, we can afford to take someone on a trip.
That would be so cool.
Life goals. But anyway. We will be doing another giveaway here shortly. We would like to do another live stream again within the next month. So let us know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
Either drop that in the comments here or drop it in the comment for another video. We read all those.
Yep.
Yeah, we get to those, or you can email us.
And do Saturdays work better for you? Sundays? Weekends usually are best, but just wondering what works better for you.
It's all good for us.
Yep.
Just let us know what you guys think. Be happy to accommodate if it's reasonable. But 3 a.m. live streams. All right. All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. And just like always,
thanks for watching. Yeah, we did it.